Welcome to our yurt, our yome, sweet yome. This is the Rubymosscottage podcast, better known as our Yurt cast. And yes, we are in a yurt high up in the Great Smoky Mountains. And I hope you'll grab yourself a cuppa and settle in with me. And we'll talk about all things crofty and yummy, and we'll just have a good old time.
Perfect, just like my wife. That one wasn't perfect. I thought this was perfect like my wife, but it's short.
So what are you doing?
I got a resaw under the board that was...
I mean, what are you doing right there?
I'm bracing the back of this cement board to the
And the cement board,
frame of the door.
it keeps the yurt from burning down.
Yeah. Keeps the yurt from burning down. We don't want that.
No, I don't want that.
So I need to move this in just a little bit. All right, put the level back on it. About 17 inches. A little bit in there. All right, now can you hold it there for a second?
Yeah. Perfect.
It's cold, huh?
Is it where the pin is supposed to be? Where's the pin at? Oh, I see it.
Okay, you go. You stop that one now.
Cottage podcast. My name is Joyce, and I am ready to sit and talk about all things crafty, yummy. I've got my cuppa ready. I hope you have yours. And I'm all settled into my little crafty slice of the pie. And yes, I think I said we live in a yurt. And I'm saying that for all the newbies, I've had quite a little spike. Not a huge spike, but a little spike in my subscriptions. So thank you and welcome to all the newbies. My name is not Ruby. However, I'm also known as Ruby. Ruby was my grandmother, and she was who the original cottage was named after. And it's just kind of carried on over to the yurt, although we're trying to think of a new name for the yurt. We cannot come up with it, and when it hits us, it'll hit us. So if you have any ideas, let us know. I actually should probably do that as a giveaway. Wouldn't that be fun? Name our yurt. Let me think about that. All right, let's see if this is a little bit better. In a yome, you have the dome light and a few windows. So I'm having problems with shadows, and I've already got all my stuff moved over here that I want to talk about. So I'm just trying to move according to the light. So hopefully this won't be as annoying and there won't be so many shadows across my face. So how have you all been? Let me just say, I have had such, hold on. I'm trying to arrange a pillow back here. That's better. All right. So professional. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I am so happy to have you here, and I hope you will make yourself at home. I hope you will drop messages down below, because I love to comment. I love to read your comments, and I like to talk back to your comments. So I feel like we have more of a connection, and I know who's watching me and who I'm talking to. So yes, welcome. Thank you too for everyone for all of your kind comments on my last episode. I try not to say the word episode because it makes me feel like I've got a health issue. So thank you for all your comments on my last recording about all that I was going to, all the issues that I was battling in my mind about. Do I keep recording? Do I not? I am coming up on my 5th year of recording. Whew, that flew by. So I was debating, do I continue? Do I not? Do I pursue it? Do I just go do another thing? And I realized through all of your comments that, you know what? It's not about whether the knitting community accepts me. And I say that because by and large, the knitting community is amazing. But you have some that are just snooty, and I just kind of hit a wall and was over it about the time of my last podcast. And I just thought, do I just want to withdraw a little bit? But really, how much more could I withdraw? I live on top of a mountain. we have 2 neighbors on this mountain. The rest are all seasonal. So we've moved to a little town that we know no one. And this is really my connection in my everyday life. This, my Instagram, and of course my real life people. But I see them when I go back to Charlotte, or, I'm involved with them. But this is just a fun thing that I do. And I just got to thinking, after listening to all your comments, feeding me positive encouragement, that you are why I started this. It wasn't to be accepted by the big names, podcasters, or to be welcomed by those. It was a connection because I wanted to meet knitters, and I wanted to connect with real knitters who were real. And I know that sounds really funny because this isn't real, but it is. It kind of is. I've made so many friends. I've met so many of you in real life. So it is real to me. And though I may be sitting here talking to a camera, I get feedback from all of you. So I decided that I am going to continue. I'm going to keep my eye on the goal, which was to make friends in the knitting community. And I'm going to forget about all that junk that wants to clog our brains and discourage us. So saying all of that, I will be continuing. However, it will take a change. It's going to be more of a lifestyle podcast. Definitely my making will be in it, but my husband's going to be more involved. And this is starting the new year. It's not right off, but starting the new year. So I am also, my goal is to try to record another Yurt cast. This is the 2nd of November. I'm going to try to do one more in November. And then in December, I'm going to try to do one podcast for every Advent. So 4 in December. I would like to say it would be fun to do a Vlogmas, but I do feel like that is not me. I don't feel like I could do that every day. So I will try to collect throughout each week. And then on the Sunday, the Advent Sunday, I will record. And that way it doesn't clog your feed as much, because I know there can be an awful lot of Vlogmas out there. I like to watch them all, but sometimes I don't have the time to watch them all. And so I thought this would just be a kind of a spin on that. So hopefully in this format, I will be on 5 more times, 6 counting this one. And then in the new year, I will, it'll be a new format, but it definitely will be a Yurt cast, and we'll just see where that takes us. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think I introduced myself, if I didn't, to all you newbies. I am Joyce, also known as Ruby. Ruby was my grandmother, of whom the original Rubymosscottage was named after. And then when we moved up here, I think I said earlier, when we moved up here, we have not yet named the Yurt. So help me think of a name for the Yurt, and I'm going to get the ball rolling on that. I kind of like that idea. But yes, so I'm Joyce, but yes, call me Ruby, call me just about anything. I'll come running. But what have we been doing around the Yurt? Well, we have been trying to get this stove that's over there, the wood burning stove. We have been trying to get it all installed, and right now we are having an issue getting the piping in. This is why you don't procrastinate and do things in November and October that should have been done in June and July. I'm not saying who, but it wasn't me. However, the weather has not been even cold enough to burn the wood burning stove, because when I have a feeling when we do start to burn the wood burning stove that it's going to be so warm in here. So it's not been that cold. It's been chilly enough to run we have a little mini split, and then we have some space heaters. So it's been warm. It's been cool enough to run those, definitely. But it's not been down in the 20s or the teens consistently to where you really need to get the chill out of the Yurt. We keep it warm enough consistently warm enough to where we haven't needed extra heat. And when I say consistently warm with a Yurt, you need to keep it cool in the summer and you need to keep it warm in the winter, because if you let it in the summer, if you turn the air off and you let it get, because it's a cool day, you don't need the air. Once the yurt heats up, it's hot. So in the summer, you got to keep the temperatures, pretty consistent. In the winter, same way. Once you get a yurt warmed up, you want to keep it consistently warm, because if you let it get cold, it takes a long time to warm up. Anywhere from, and I'm talking about cold. Like last year, we learned that when you go away, you leave your little mini split running, so that when you come in, it's at least 68 degrees. Because we didn't, and then we came back to a snowstorm, and it was cold. And it takes a yurt anywhere, I would say, from 12 to 24 hours to really get warm once it gets cold like that. So we've got enough heaters running now and we're keeping about 65, 68, which is very comfortable for us. Sometimes for me, in this menopausal body, that is still too warm. It's going to be interesting how this wood-burning stove is going to keep me. Is it going to keep me too warm? I don't know. I'm really, 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 really concerned about that. But hoping that the pipe will come in this week, and then we will have it all inserted and ready to go. It is supposed to get down to like 27 this weekend. So I'm feeling like it's going to be a little nippy if we don't get that wood-burning stove going. We shall see. All right, so what have we been doing? Well, it's fall, all the beauty. So I have been taking walks and hikes. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen where I've been posting a lot of my walks daily, and some of the beauty of the leaves that are around here. Oh, is just gorgeous. Actually, the leaves have been falling so heavily at times when you're in the yurt, it sounds like rain. So you can actually hear the leaves hitting the top of the yurt. And if you've watched any time, for any length of time, you know I love the sound of rain on the yurt, the roof. So the leaves, when you can look out the window and you can see them blowing and you can hear them hitting the roof, that is so cozy. I love that. We've celebrated my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I was in Charlotte the weekend before my birthday, and I was celebrating our oldest granddaughter's 12th birthday. So that weekend I got to celebrate with my daughters. And then the next weekend up here, my birthday was on a Thursday. My sisters rolled in on Friday. And so we celebrated with them. I celebrated with them. We shipped Todd off, and the three of us had the yurt for the weekend. It was so nice. We went to SAF, which is the Southeastern Animal Fiber Festival in Asheville. And oh my goodness, that was so good. I was basing it on prior SAFs that I have been to, and I was really never a fan. But I don't know if I have not been in several years prior to the pandemic, because it just wasn't my thing. It just was a lot of spinning and a lot of animals, and it's a fiber festival. But it was just a little bit smelly, and it just wasn't my thing. Now, I probably haven't been for 5 years, maybe even longer than that. This year, I don't know if it's because of the break from the pandemic or what, but it was fabulous. It was in different arenas, or at least it was in different arenas from when I was there last. And it was such fun, such great vendors. I got to see two of my Nordic niches there, Maria of Ninja Chickens and Mars from Hey Brown Berry. It was so good to see them. And yeah, my sisters had a great time. Now remember, my one sister who is a knitter, and then my other sister you have not met yet, but she is not a knitter. And so she used to crochet years and years ago. And I think we have convinced her to start crocheting. So she enjoyed SAF because, she, in her mind, she's thinking, okay, I'm going to start using yarn again. And also, they also sold clothing, they sold candles, they sold buttons, they sold, I think she bought that, and then I think she bought some lotion. Just, there was enough there to keep her interested, even though she has not submerged herself completely into the fiber world. So we had the best time there. We spent way too much time because we were going to shoot over to Black Mountain Yarn Shop, do that for a while, and then do some of the Black Mountain area because I had other things I needed to pick up in Black Mountain. Well, we stayed there for so long that we had to scoot. When we did go to Black Mountain, we was like 15 minutes before the yarn shop closed. So my sisters actually buzzed over to the yarn shop because I had a bag that I was going to get from Button Jar Studios. I will show you that in a little bit. And so they ran in there, picked that up, and I went a different direction and ran some of the other errands that I needed to run. And then we met up and we ate our lunch, and then we did some other shopping. But we had the best time. Again, laughed so hard that you could hardly stand. It was just so great. And then, so they stayed until Sunday, and then Sunday I went back with one of my sisters. She took me to my mother's house, and I stayed for the week, and I enjoyed my grandies. I enjoyed my mom. I didn't have time to meet up with any friends. It was just boom, boom, boom. And it was fun. It was go so much that I hit a wall. It was like so much interaction. And, you know, I'm up here used to nothing. And so when Todd came to pick me up on Saturday, I was ready. Although I do miss my family. I miss my grandies. They're just so precious. So I didn't stay for Halloween, but they sent me a lot of pictures for Halloween. And I've been back up here. I've been recuperating. I've been just breathing in the fresh mountain air. And I've been making lots and lots of making. I did not tell you, first of all, what I'm drinking. I am drinking, okay, I have to reach over and get them because I was set up until the shadows made me move. So I'm going to reach over here. This is what is in my cuppa today. It's the Downton Abbey, and it's the, I see there's a glare too. It's the Downton Estate Blend. It's very, very, very good. And it is the, the Republic of Tea. That's the one. I use the Republic of Tea quite a lot. I love their Blackberry Sage. I love their Christmas blends. I love their hibiscus tea. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, it's one of my favorite teas that I drink a lot of. And so today is the Downton Abbey. And it's, again, in my little mushroom pottery mug that I bought over in a little neighboring town. This weekend, there is a pottery expo in another little town. So I'm looking forward to going that and just checking it out. I love pottery. And if there's a mushroom on the pottery, score. Okay. So that's what's in my cuppa. What I'm wearing is something that's going to be out of my bags. And so I will talk about that a little later. Okay. So let's move on. Let's talk about, do you want to talk about my book bag first? We never talk about my book bag first. So let's do that. Okay. One of the books that I have, my daughter, my oldest daughter, gave me for my birthday. I love, 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 love this book. This is the cover of it. And the name is Making a Life. And it is by, oops, just dropped books, Melanie Falick. This book, just dropped another book. This book is really, really good. Oh my gosh. It's just full of photographs of makers that are making a life. I mean, it's just stories. I have not read it. Obviously, that's going to take a while, but I have been enjoying. I am, I'll show you. I haven't gotten very far because I'm savoring it. Okay. I'm to this article that says making the ordinary extraordinary. But this is I told her she's very gifted at giving gifts, thinking about what would represent the person that she gives a gift to, because this is definitely me. And she gave her dad a book for his birthday that was definitely him. So this is in my book bags, and I would highly recommend it for all makers because it is just beautiful. The pictures are beautiful. This is in here as well. This I found, can you see that little heart in that leaf? I found that on one of my walks. And if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that. I absolutely love that. I love hearts. I love to find hearts in nature. Okay, so that is one book. Okay, and I dropped some books. This book I've had in my library for a while. I think since 2019. And I just picked it back up a couple weeks ago and could not put it down. It was so good. But it's called Peace from Broken Pieces. And it's by Iyanla Vanzant. I'm probably butchering that name. I bought this when my life was just a heap of broken pieces. And I picked it up then and read it, but for some reason I just stopped. I think maybe it was too real for me to deal with in the pain and the raw pain of things. And so I put it down. And now that I'm on this side of things, I picked it back up and I could not put it down. I really had wished that maybe I had read it when I bought it, because I think I would have handled some of the situations a little differently, a little kinder, with a little bit more perspective. But this is such a good book, and I'm not going to go into all the details of it. I'm not even going to read you quotes from it because it's not going to speak to everybody. And it may not, if I'm holding this up and you are going through a tough time and you feel hopeless or you feel like, what is the purpose? This would be a good book to read. It's very, very good. So I read that. Then this book, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I found a list that I had made last January, and it had 12 books on it, books I wanted to read this year. Evidently, I turned the page and forgot that I had made that list because I just found it. So this was at the top of the list, and so I just ordered it from Amazon. It's so good. It is a fiction, and it's about a girl. She's in mid-30s, and she has so many regrets with her life that she's just ready to check out, and so she overdoses. And so between life and death, she gets to live out her different regrets, and as she lives the regrets out, she realizes she wouldn't have wanted that life. That would not have been a good life, so it kind of erases her regrets. It's so good, and it really, really makes you look at life differently, like, I have no regrets. As a matter of fact, my word, every birthday I come up with a new word for the new year. And I couldn't come up with a word this year. I couldn't come up with a word. And so, because usually I'll see the word over and over and over. It just leaves a huge impact on me. And I am seeing nothing. And then when I read this book, I knew my word was no regrets. That's 2 words, but I'll hyphenate it or something. That is my word for the year, no regrets. So this book has really literally changed me, because now it's just like, it is what it is. There's no regrets. We're going to go this path. This is the choice I made. Let's take it. And you do that daily, because you can just bury yourself in regrets. But this is a good spin and a good eye opener to what we should be thankful for in life, and just go with the flow. So The Midnight Library is really a good book. And then this book I just picked up. It's been in my library too. I don't even know how long, but I have a fascination with Jewish culture. And so this is the Sabbath, and it's written by a rabbi. And so it is the Jewish perspective, or the Jewish teachings of the Sabbath. And so it's interesting to me. I'm just kind of a nerd. I like all genres of books. And so, I don't know, if you like to learn and study and theology and anything like that, then I'm finding it interesting. Okay, So that is my book bag. Let's move on from my book bag. Let's see what is in my bags. Okay, so in my bags, I still have a bunch of things in my bags. I mean, like I've got a stack of bags I'm working on. But I've gotten so redirected from that lately because it started off with the Monster Sock Cow. And I have been so into the scrappy knitting that it's hard for me to get back to my projects, but I'm going to get there. So this is in a bag that I made quite a few years ago. It's got little mushrooms on it. And then on the inside, it's just flannel. But this is, the pattern is Everything November. And it's by Everything Shapes Us, Jen. She is a new friend of mine. I followed her for a long time, but we are hosting a cow together, and I'll talk about that later. But it's the Warm Hugs cow. So I made a pair of wrist warmers for that, and then that made me. This is her pattern that I've been wanting to make forever, and so this is what's in my bag. I just cast this on last night, and this is worsted weight yarn. So it's going, I'm using a size 3 needle, so it's very thick, very cushiony, and fast to knit up on a size 3 with the worsted weight yarn. But the yarn I'm using was in my stash, and I've had it forever. But this is what it is. It's Knit Call Trends. And it's just a combination of these colors. So this looks like it's just a bunch of scrap yarn, but it isn't. It's all in this ball here that I've got. And I'm hoping that I didn't make the wrist too long. I have this much left. So, but I think I'll be fine. So I'm working on the gusset now. And then, so they'll only come to about right there. I love wrist warmers because you can still do things with your fingers. You know, like I can wear these around the yurt if it's a little bit chilly, and I can knit, or I can do, I can do anything, and it just keeps my arm. It's just a little added warmth. But so that's in my bags, and then that's all I'm going to show you that I'm working on right now, because the other projects are just not far enough along that I feel like they would be of interest to you. So that's in my bags. Now, what is out of my bags? That is so exciting. First of all, this is the Nurtured Sweater by Andrea Mowry. Let me put these projects down so I can stand up and show you. I will put a picture of it in, or you can check my Instagram page if I failed to. But this is it. It's a cropped sweater. And you can see the yarn I used is pilling, but that's okay because it is a very, very soft and cozy wool that I am in love with. And I thought I saved the little tag. I'll put in the show notes the wool that I used. But yeah, this is just the best. I probably made the sleeves a little too long. But other than that, there's nothing I would change about this pattern. I loved it. I loved knitting it. It was so enjoyable. Once I joined the sleeves, because you knit the sleeves, then you knit it bottom up. Then you join the sleeves and you do the raglan. Once I got to the raglan, I wanted to be done. But you just keep going and you eventually get done. One of the mistakes I made is, let's see, how did I do it? I finished it, and then I wasn't happy with something. I can't remember what it was. So I took it back out to about this far. Oh, I know what it was. I wasn't happy with how I closed in the short rows. And so I took it out and re-knit it. And when I put it back on my needles, I put it back on the smaller needles that was for the what is this thing? The ribbed neck. And I should have gone back up to the larger needles, did the few rows, and then put it on the smaller needles. So I blocked that really hard. And I don't think you can tell, but at first I noticed and I thought, I'm not taking it back out. No one is ever going to notice that. But yes, I absolutely love this pattern. I have become such a fan of her makes. She is an incredible maker, but she's an incredibly gifted pattern writer because her patterns they just fit your body well. You can tell she wears and lives in what she makes because there's no little tweaking so far that I've found. I've made many of her shawls. They're big enough shawls, and this, I don't know if I've made any other sweaters of hers, but I really, really like this nurtured sweater. Then, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen I finished my leggings. Excuse me. These are my Marled Mania Leggings. And again, we are into the stripy, not the stripy, but the scrappy yarns. My base was green. So I think I ended up using almost 3.5 skeins of greens. Now they were different colors of greens. So yeah, there were several shades of green, but then the other colors were all scrappy colors. So you hold 2 strands of fingering together for this. So I just chose to make green my base color. You can do any color you want. Anyway, that is my leggings. They're off the needles. Go check them out on my Instagram page, and then I'll try to maybe pop some pictures in here of them. But I love them. If you'll remember, I asked Team Yoga or Team Jeannie because I wondered if I should just make wide bands at the wide cuffs at the bottom and make them Jeannie pants, or if I should just go ahead and make them yoga pants. I chose yoga just because I didn't want to do the math of trying to decrease down to the cuffs. And I'm glad I did. I love these pants. They are so comfortable, functional. They're going to be nice and warm. I will wear them a lot. So this is the Marled Mania Leggings by Stephen West pattern. And I will talk a little bit later about it, but we are having a KAL with this with 2 other podcasters. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Now, I think the thing that kicked it off was, I don't know if you all did the monster sock KAL that Amy of Exterminate and 2 other makers, SM Karn and one other, they hosted it. They host it every year. Anyway, so I entered the monster sock KAL and I made this pair. I think my last podcast, I talked about the other pair I made, because I made 2 pair. So this is just scrap yarns that I had. I did use all the same colors. I just used them differently per sock. But that is my newest pair of socks. And I love those as well. That was, I just did a 3x1 rib, and I did heel flap gusset. So there was no pattern. I just basically knit them. Because I've knit so many socks, I don't necessarily need a pattern to knit them. I know what fits my sock and how to do the measuring and everything. So that's out of my bags. And then I'm also hosting, and I think what we'll do is just go right on into the KALS that I'm hosting or co-hosting. These are wrist warmers, and I am co-hosting along with Everything Shapes Us, Jen, the Warm Hugs KAL. So, and it's for wrist warmers, arm warmers, her mittens, her mitts that I'm making. And we kicked it off after the Monster Sock Cow, and it's going through November 21st, I think. So you still have time to cast on. These are incredibly quick. I just cast on, you know what I think I did? I think I cast on 64, just like I would a pair of socks. I just did a 4x1 rib, knit them as long as I wanted them to be, and that was it. So you can make them shorter. If you just want like little wrist warmers, you can make them longer. I just like mine to tuck up under my sweaters or over my sweaters, and just wear them like that when I'm out and about. But yeah, we've got some great prizes to give out. We have, I think, 4 other sponsors, plus Jen is giving something and I'm giving something. I will show you what it is. That's all that's out of my bags for right now. So we're going to just move right on into our KALS and our make-alongs. I'm also making a prize for the give-along, or I'm donating this yarn from my stash, but I think that's such a beautiful color, and it's Wonderland Yarns. I don't even know where I got it. I don't know when I got it. It's very pretty. It's so pretty that I've several times I've pulled it up and thought, do I want to give that away? But I'm going to give that away. And I am in the process of making a tote bag with this from this old quilt. And this kind of reminded me of a Scandinavian Christmas. So this is the lining that was in the quilt. And so I'm in the process of making a tote. So my donation to the Warm Hugs Cow will be a tote and with this yarn. So you will want to join this cow because, number one, it's very functional. You're knitting something that you will use a lot of. They're great presents. So if you need Christmas knitting, these are the thing to knit. So that not only are they functional, they're fast to knit, but great prizes. So I know it's November 2nd, and I don't know when you're going to get around to watching this, but November 21st is the cutoff, and that's when we will be pulling from our prizes. So good luck to everyone. This is going to be a very, very lucrative giveaway. So that is the Warm Hugs Cow. I'm a co-host along with Everything Makes Us on Instagram. Then I am co-hosting the officially unofficial Marled Mania Leggings Cow. I'm hosting that with Knit Inc. and Donna Marie's daughter, which is Knit My Way Home, her podcast. So they're both podcasters, and we are hosting the cow for this. Now, this cow, it goes through the end of the year, but you can, obviously, if you're not going to be finished by then, no big deal, because there's no prizes. That's why it's the official, unofficial. We decided we didn't want to make it burdensome. It's the holidays. We didn't want to have to try and get all these prizes out. So we just wanted it to be a fun knit that we could just all end up with a pair of leggings for the winter months. Excuse me. And if you live in cooler or warmer climates, you can make shorts, or you can crank your air conditioner. What do? Turn your air conditioner down so that it gets colder in your house, and you can wear them. I promise you will love them. They are so cozy and comfy. Then I am wrapping up one more cow, and it's the Ann with an E cow. No, that was a Mal. That was a make-along. Ann with an E make-along that has gone on all year long. I had one last prize to give away, and so I'm going to give that out this episode, this recording. And what you won, I had a follower, and her name is Ann Albro, and she donated this shawl. It is absolutely beautiful. Look at that. This just says Ann with an E Mal. Ann with an E series to me. It is so, so pretty. And you did a fabulous job. I could just see it with the brooch there. Oh, it's so pretty. Anyway, so the winner of this beautiful shawl that was donated is, let me see, I wrote it down, Debbie from TeaHillCottage. Now, if you'll go to the hashtags and look on Instagram, you'll see all of her different entries. But yeah, Debbie from TeaHillCottage, you are the winner of this beautiful, beautiful shawl. So if you will shoot me an email or DM me on Instagram, Debbie, I will get this out to you and you will be able to enjoy it for the holiday season. Thank you too to Anne for this. Oh, what a lovely, lovely prize. It is just stunning. It's just, I wish I could have won it myself. So that closes up the Anne with an email. We were going to go through the end of the year, but I'm thinking that everyone's just going to be too busy here coming up to even to join. There were so many good things. I wanted to give everyone a prize, but that's just the nature of a make-along. So that's it. I told you about the KALS that we're doing. Moving on to my shopping bags. I bought a few things at Sabbath. I bought a dress, and I bought some buttons, and I bought a basket, which is over there, and I forgot to bring it, so I'm not going to go get it. I also brought, okay, so I told you that I bumped in, well, I knew they were going to be there. Two of my Nordic niches, or two, I went to Norway with these two. I met them in Norway on our retreat. It was Ninja Chickens, and Hey Brownberry was there to help her out. But Ninja Chickens, which is Maria, she actually doesn't live far from me, but she has a beautiful little homestead. If you follow her on Instagram, where she does a really pretty much organic lifestyle, and she makes teas and she makes hot chocolate. She does all this indie dyeing. She's just phenomenal. But anyway, I bought some of her hot chocolate, which sells like hotcakes. So I was really excited to get that. I wanted to do her hot chocolate advent. That would have been a great advent, but I just could not justify the expense of an advent this year. So I wasn't able to do that, but that would have been the one I would have done if I'd done one. So it's her herbal hot chocolate. It's cocoa and herbs to support your immune and stress response systems. And it's made with cocoa, chaga, cocoa butter, maca, some of this stuff. I'm probably butchering the names. Astragalus, rhodiola, cinnamon, turmeric, and tulsi. I don't know, but my sisters and I came home from the night we went to Sabbath, and I made us all some of this. I sweetened it with honey, and then we added whipped cream to the top of it, and I put sprinkles on the top of it, and we sat and we had a cuppa, and we talked and knit and solved the world's problems. This was delicious. So you may want to hop over to her Etsy shop and grab you some. And then I also got this mix of hers. It's for tea. So I haven't tried that yet. I love hibiscus tea, so I'm excited to try that. So those are all from Ninja Chickens. And let me see if I have anything wrote down. One of the things I ordered from Michelle of Naughty Knitwits. I don't know if you follow that podcast. If you don't, you need to. But Michelle was having a D-stash sale. So I bought some green yarn from her, and that yarn is in my leggings. So I used every bit of it. And I wish I had at least taken a picture of it so I could have showed you how pretty the green was. I don't know I think she's sold all of her yarn, but you need to check out and make sure. I think she's going to sell bags next, de-stash her bags. She may have already done that. I'm not sure. But yeah, that yarn was pretty. It was a great deal too. So that was in my bag. That was in my shopping bags, and I don't know that I bought anything else. I think that's it. So let me check here. I finally made myself some little show notes for myself so I could make sure I didn't leave anything out this time, which I'm pretty sure I probably will anyway. That's it. That looks like that's all. I don't see anything else sitting around here that I need to talk about. So, what have we got coming up? Nothing. This week is quiet. Next week is quiet. Then that weekend, I go back to Charlotte. My sister-in-law is coming down from West Virginia, and she and I, along with our daughters, are going, not our daughters as in our daughters together, her and her daughter, and me and my two daughters. Just to clear that up. There'll be 5 of us. And then hopefully my granddaughters will get to go. We're going to the Christmas show in Charlotte. And oh my goodness, the Southern Christmas show. People come from miles around. So if you're anywhere in the tri-state area, you need to get yourself to the Southern Christmas show. It goes on for 12 days, I think. It always starts the second Thursday of November in Charlotte. And it is amazing. Rochelle has never been. So I'm excited to take her. She's going to love that. So that's coming up, and that's it. So hopefully I will podcast again right after the Christmas show, and I'll tell you all about that. And hopefully our wood burning stove will be burning so I can show you that. And hopefully I will have some more things out of my bags that I can show you that I've knit or I've made or I've painted, or what else do I do? I don't know. My shop is going to be opening hopefully by the end of this week. I know I say that every podcast, but I've had to switch some things around, and there's been some hiccups that have been unpreventable. There's just nothing I could do about it. So hopefully this weekend, and I'm going to be putting some Christmas things in there. So if you're interested in some little Christmas frou-frou things, you might want to just pop over there and check it out. I'll put it on my Instagram account that is ISeeFlowersbyRMC. That's where I do most of my updates. I will do some on my Rubymosscottage page as well, but I try not to let those show the same thing all the time. So just be looking for those. And that's about all. That's about it. I'm going to the Pottery Festival this weekend, and maybe I'll find something as adorable as this. I don't know. That's pretty adorable. Don't you think? And the Braves are playing tonight. Go Braves. You should have wrapped it up last time, but now we're in Houston. Nail biter. I want the Braves to win. So that's tonight. Hopefully that wraps up tonight. If it doesn't, then tomorrow night. But hopefully the Braves come out victorious. And that's all that I've got going on. So I'm going to put all this stuff away. Then I'm going to go back over there on the sofa and sit down and hopefully start to edit this podcast so that it can get up maybe by this evening. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. So with our Wi-Fi up here in the mountains, I need to be very careful and pick a day that it will upload, because if it's a stormy day, the Wi-Fi up here is so slow. It could take 36, 48 hours. Who knows? But if it doesn't get uploaded today and I want to try tomorrow and I can't, maybe I'll just go down into the town and sit at the coffee shop and let it upload there. My goal is to have this up by Tuesday, November the 3rd. So I hope that if you're still here listening to all of my rambling, I hope that you are having a fabulous fall and that you are just making and crafting and living the dream. And if you aren't, then get started. It's fun. It's a life that the making lifestyle is just euphoric. So just remember that in everything you do, take it one stitch at a time. Thank you.